doing?
Hi, Lexis, Bill, chairman of the Yo-Yo Club.
Yes, sir.
I'm good. It's good to be back here.
Yes,
Right in studio.
President of the Boardman Association. You're welcome.
Kwame. Today, you want me to espouse all the benefits of testosterone and
Absolutely.
how it manifests?
And that's why I went there. Because, I mean, when Doc says we're talking about men's health, I was like, oh, I'm curious. I mean, what are the details? What's he going to be talking about? Then he sent some synopsis. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So if you're a man, since we're celebrating men this week and fathers this week, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. If you're a woman listening, you might want to prompt your significant other. Or you're the man in your life. Yes. That look, they need to tune into Joy FM right now and listen to this conversation we're about to have about men's health. Doc, welcome once again.
Thank you, Kwame, and happy Father's Day in advance to all the fathers. And today I had some very, very interesting stories, very inspiring stories.
The Super Dad promotion,
exactly. And it's good to know that there are men out there doing all the things previously we thought we were not able to do. Take care of kids, for example. So I became a father for the first time about 14 years ago.
Nice.
So, not an easy task, especially when my role model was my dad and Kwesi Titi Ansa, and looking up to him. I was wondering whether I could do the job that he did with all four of us.
I
have two pets, but that man, I salute him. The way I'm hustling with the two, how
I can imagine.
He did it with the four of us. 3 boys.
Wow.
Right. But Kwame, I have an interesting quote I want to share. A fact I found out in preparing for this show that I want to share.
Okay.
But Kwame, it's almost like a proverb. If you
know, you know.
If you know, you know. Right. So this is it. Men are more able to see small details and are better at visually tracking moving objects. End quote.
Say that again.
Men are more able to see small details and are better at visually tracking moving objects.
Moving objects. Tracking them.
Imebusem. Proverbs.
Proverbs chapter 99.7 verse 7.
Yes. If we have time at the end of the show, we invite listeners to explain
it.
These proverbs. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Right. So, Kwame, today I decided that let's talk about something that we don't often talk about. And it affects men. Almost everybody will be affected if you live long enough. And it is andropause.
Andropause.
Yes.
Andropause.
Is that androgens?
Is that related to menopause?
That's the flip side of the coin.
But whose idea was it to make menopause for women and find something else? Because menopause starts with men.
Actually, yeah.
Why not womenopause? Whose idea was it? You scientists and your ridiculous way of naming things.
We always want to turn things upside down. We want to do you to do some brain gymnastics before you get it.
So the reverse of menopause is andropause.
Right. So it's a period in a man's life as he gets older when the level of this hormone called testosterone goes down in the body.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that period is called the andropause. So there is a time in a man's life when the total concentration of testosterone, the predominant male hormone, will go down, and it will leave that man with some physical and psychological symptoms.
Oh, I see.
And we will define all of that as the andropause. It is estimated that testosterone decreases by about 1% every year, usually starting around 20 years. So the total amount of testosterone that you have begins to drop.
After 20 years?
Yes, that's when the drop happens. 1% per year. That's the projected rate of decrease.
Hey.
I mean, so that's why I say you should be glad and rejoice in your youth.
And be productive.
But I can't rock out.
Okay, sorry. Oh my God.
What about shots? I said so much. Feel the earth
in your youth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what we know about the decline. So this decline is almost a physiological decline. It is not a disease. It's just the same thing that's happening to the female when they stop or there's a decline in estrogen production. There's a reduction or there's a complete cessation of egg production, and we see all the associated symptoms. Testosterone is the predominant hormone.
You hold on. Adekam. You said decline, eh?
Yes.
So it's not like it finishes.
No, Kwame, it's just decline 1% per year from 20.
And I said 1%,
How
one,
old are you?
one,
Are you calculating? 1, sir.
And
Say
it's
100 minus 1, 99 minus 1, 98. It's a new baby, better.
Wow.
And Kwame, let's look at the features of testosterone so that
Okay, all right.
testosterone is a very important hormone, and its production really goes up and hits a peak when you get into puberty. So Kwame, first you had a smooth face, no hair. Then you hit puberty, and then you begin to see a few things. So the first thing is the breaking of the voice. Or when we develop this, or most men will develop different degrees of a baritone voice. There's a characteristic distribution of body hair and the development of facial hair. So the distribution of body hair, women also have body hair. But for example, when it comes to pubic hair, there is the male distribution of pubic hair. The hair climbs towards the umbilicus and sometimes all the way towards the chest. The hair on the chest will spread towards both nipples. You don't get that kind of thing in women. But then when it comes to facial hair, then it's almost like a no-no when it comes to women, but then yes when it comes to men.
Right.
Then there's also increasing bone strength, which is one of the things testosterone is responsible for. There's also increased libido. When we talk about libido, we are talking about one's overall desire for sex.
Okay.
So that is libido. That is testosterone. So if you have high testosterone levels, then Kwame, you would have high libido levels.
It makes sense because
it makes sense. I can see.
Yeah.
Of all the things I said, this is the one that makes sense to you.
You're not. I thought you were done. So there makes sense for all of it because.
No, I'm not done.
Okay, all right.
This is only number 4. Number 5, it's also responsible for aggression. Kwame, that's why men fight more than women.
Oh.
Yes. So if you hear any somewhere, it's men who are fighting.
I disagree.
Oh, Kwame, it's true.
I disagree.
Oh, the women, they do keke. They don't fight. You don't see that.
Be just muff.
Then they will cry.
Okay.
But any tagri, any fight in the stadium, whatever it is, it's men who are fighting. So testosterone is responsible for aggression.
Okay.
It is also responsible for sperm production and maturation, and then also muscle bulk increment. Right, so increase in muscle mass.
Right.
Yes, it's also testosterone. So these are all the features of testosterone. So Kwame, when you begin to get the progressive decline in the total levels of testosterone in the body, then automatically we are going to expect certain symptoms when you hit the andropause.
Sounds like a reflection of all of these things you mentioned.
But I can see that one troubles you a lot.
It does. And it's not even just troubling me. I'm worried for the women too.
Stakeholders. Ghana's everywhere. Key stakeholders. So I will mention that the primary cause of andropause is growing old.
It's growing old.
Yes.
Okay.
The aging. It's a feature of aging.
Yeah.
Right. There are other medical conditions that are associated with a decline in testosterone levels. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the normal physiological decay in testosterone levels.
Okay.
So growing old. So those who want to be, wish to be 99.7 years. Please, you shouldn't be 99.7 and then come to the hospital and complain to me that that you are lean. That you are lean. I'll tell you to just go and eat. Right. So, what are the symptoms of the andropause? The first one that I commonly see in the clinic is a decreased sex drive.
Oh, I see.
Decreased sex drive. Because Kwame, we talked about the libido thing. You know, so it's not only when you don't have money in your pocket that your sex drive goes down.
Okay.
You know, but just growing old. So it's to be expected. So sometimes men come to the hospital because of that. Maybe there might be other reasons why that is. But sometimes it's just the age. We look at the age and it explains it all.
I see. But I'm sure there are some men who are old and they're still taking it like paracetamol dosage. 2-3 times daily. Right. So we said 1%. So we're talking about percentages. Okay.
The total no, the decline by 1% still leaves him with quite a lot in the bank.
Wow.
Compared to other people's 1%. The second thing is a lack of energy. So there's a slowing down for a lot of people, a lot of men at a certain age, and we think that they've mellowed. It's something that we all see, grandpas, and that's why the grandchildren tend to like the grandpas a lot. They are mellow, they tolerate a lot of things, and I mean, sometimes if you're not careful, you leave your children with your grandparents. Discipline, they're out of the window because you know there isn't a lot of energy to do a lot of things. So the drive is not there. Unfortunately, we see a lot of patients, men in the andropause who experience depression, which is a consistently low mood. A consistently low mood over a period of 2 weeks or more. And depression is unfortunately something that men in the andropause experience. Number 4, they also get mood swings. So this is something that we beat the women over the head most of the time. The mood swings, they are grumpy and all of that. But it happens in men as well, and they're very irritable. You know, and you experience mood swings. So they'll snap at you, you know, they explode with very little triggers. So irritability and mood swings also can affect men in the andropause. Obviously, there's loss of strength because of the decline in muscle bulk. So, Kwame, right now, Charlie, the way your biceps, triceps, I'm sure you can carry a lot of things. I'm sure you can carry message into the
very soon I'll be able to carry things.
Well, so do all the carrying now. Get all your romantic scores now before later you say you are not romantic, you can't carry. Me, Kwame, the way I am, nobody worries me with any carry business. This was not testosterone matter. Right. So there's loss of strength, and therefore you may not be able to do the jobs that you used to do. You're a farmer, you're a construction worker, and these may all have implications on work. For example, and the man has to switch jobs just so he's able to accommodate. Somebody has a commercial, farm plantation and realizes that he's not able to perform his duties as previously he was able to, and you have to then make some adjustments.
You know what? Let me activate the phone lines and
sure.
the WhatsApp line as well. You can WhatsApp us if you have any questions or you want to see clarity on any of the things. Brothers, this is over to you. 0302216541 or WhatsApp us on 055-1111997.
Right. So, Kwame, there's also height loss. Remember we talked about bone. So it stimulates bone growth and bone strength. So your long bones may begin to get shorter.
Hey.
And most people can bend as well. So when you're doing scientific measurement, these anthropometric measurements, you'd realize that their height tends to decrease over a period. It's so gradual, you may not see it, except we put measurements to it. We come into the hospital and then we're actually taking measurements. But it's something we see, and we believe it is because of the effect of testosterone on bone. There is also something that can be very embarrassing to a lot of men, which is the enlargement of the breast. So men have what we call rudimentary breast tissue, meaning the tissue exists. Remember we said 1% of all breast cancer cases happen in men. So breast cancer is not overwhelmingly females, but yes, females predominate. So it's not exclusive to females rather, but males can also develop breast cancer. But when you have enlargement of the male breast, then we call that gynecomastia. So that is something that most men may find embarrassing. It's because of the decreased levels of testosterone that you have in the body. You may also get increased body fat, and therefore we may lose our masculine look.
Okay.
And then we become a bit more feminine because we become a bit more rounded with the deposition of fats.
I saw the Arnold Schwarzenegger the last time. I was like, oh, bruh.
Yeah.
This is a guy with muscles, but his body has all,
Yes.
he's lost all the muscle
Exactly.
mass.
We looked at him and we always think he's almost like what The Rock looks like right now. And then you see him in future, and then he's now depositing a bit of fat under the skin.
Okay.
And then that is what happens.
Well, let's get on the phone line now. Hello?
Right.
Hi, Leslie.
Yes, sir. Welcome, boss. What's your name?
My name is Newman from New Achimuta. How are you?
I'm very well, Newman. How are you two?
I'm fine.
All right, let's hear you.
Man.
Yeah, I'm 52.
Right.
And sometimes I just feel like no, be quiet, no talk to anyone, be isolated. So I want to find out, is because of what he's talking about? Is it
Okay. The andropause.
Yeah.
of
Is it a
this one?
symptom? Yeah.
Right. So, Kwame, Newman just mentioned one of the things, the lack of energy.
Yeah.
And then also when you talk about depression, I think we talked about depression on the show before, where we talked about a lot of things where some people want to be withdrawn. So one of the first things we look out for in depression is the person no longer taking an interest in the things that usually they would take an interest in.
Okay.
They lose all hobbies, even regular work. So if that is what Newman is referring to, it may be one of the boxes that we take that will get your doctor to say, you know what, why don't I do that blood test and why don't I ask more questions to find out whether or not this is the andropause.
Okay.
So yes, Newman, you may want to talk to us and get a blood test done.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Lexis.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. This is your friend, Judas.
All right, Judas. Let's hear you.
It's Karen.
Oh, okay. I want to follow from Doug. I'm 44.
Right.
But before I turned 40, I wasn't that. And I said I knew me before. I don't get angry quickly. But since I turned 44 or turning 45 in 2 months' time, the last thing I got offended.
Wow.
The bigger from which I see is not normal with me. So I want to find out if it's related to that. And then secondly, you normally found out some guys get developing into the teenage age with some breast, as if some born for. So how about that one too?
Right. Okay.
Right. So let me start with the second one.
I think that's what you're just talking
Yeah,
about.
the breast development. So gynecomastia happens across 3 age groups. In infancy, which is before the age of 1, you may have that because of this hormonal imbalance. Then the second age group or period is puberty, where again, because of the hormonal imbalance, boys would develop or get an enlargement of the breast tissue. It will tend to regress when the testosterone becomes higher than the female hormones. So although we are men, we do have female hormones as well. And then the third period is the andropause. Elderly men, they tend to also develop that. So I wouldn't be too worried. But if it is concerning in the pubertal age, you should just come into hospital and then we'll check it out.
Okay.
Kwame, his first question about being irritable and snapping at people and getting upset easily, it may be a number of different things. I would say that typically we don't see andropause in that age group, 44, 45 in the 40s. Typically, it will be after 55. That's when a lot of people come in. But as I mentioned, the decline starts from 20. So I think it should come in. It may be something else. There may be mental health issues, psychological things at play. But yes, indeed, I did mention irritability.
You know, Denchi Daniel Chumesi in Adenta just asked a question that I really wanted to ask. Because, he says, Doctor, are there any means through which testosterone can be replenished? In fact, he's not the only one who asked. Anthony says, what can we do to increase these testosterone levels?
Right, Kwame, so they've jumped us to the last part of the discussion. We say, can it be treated?
Yeah.
Yes and no. You can't stop aging.
Yeah, no, say. Dog, man, kasa, cry. Research.
Kwame, I think men want to. Why do you want testosterone when you are 80?
We want to continue.
We want to continue what, bodybuilding or what at 80.
And the work of God.
Right. So Kwame, I'm just saying that nobody stops aging. So if you look at it from that context, then that decline cannot be stopped. But there's also something we call hormone replacement therapy. Testosterone now comes in different forms. It comes as patches, which we stick to the skin patches to deliver testosterone. It comes as oral preparations. You can also have injectables as well. So yes, testosterone can be replaced, but it needs careful examination and tests before we do hormone replacement therapy. Why? Testosterone can facilitate or lead to the development of prostate cancer, breast cancer, strokes, and heart attacks.
Wow.
So you would get a thorough prostate screening before we do hormone replacement therapy. Anybody with a history of breast cancer, family history of breast cancer, we would say no, for example. And therefore, that decision should be left with your doctor, and probably your doctor who has some experience in endocrine medicine, to make sure that we don't rather put you at risk whilst we restore your libido.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And
we also encourage you to eat healthy.